Uh, Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. And for the start of this video, I'm going to be. Sorry, I'm tilting the camera here. Um, for this video, I'm going to be discussing one of the most infamous and worst movies ever made. It's definitely within the top three, if not the top two. And that is the 1995 movie Showgirls. Yes, I'm actually going to be discussing Showgirls. Because this movie was starred Elizabeth Berkley in her first role after her first real role after Saved by the Bell. And also has Carl McLaughlin from Blue Velvet, and also it has Alan Rickman from L.A. Law of all people, who's wearing a very bad hair toupee. From L.A. Law. I'm not talking about the guy from the first Die Hard movie. Starring in this piece of crap, and that's what it is. It's a piece of crap. It's a nude fest, pretty much. This movie. Of course, this movie is also infamous because it was the first NC-17 film to be widely to have a big open wide release in movie theaters in 1995, and it was a pretty controversial move because it was. At that time, 1995, you had the new rating, which was NC-17, which was technically supposed to replace X. I don't think the movies are given an X rating anymore, but NC-17 was supposed to replace X in the rating system, and this is what the most graphic nudity in it, most graphic sex, violence, even worse than you see in a stereotypical R movie. Plus, of course, language, violence, and sexual scenes. They will make people who watch porn blush. But for some reason, it was given not only was a big hype, but it was also, like I just said, given a wide release. Now, this movie, of course, like I said, stars Elizabeth Berkley as this drifter, like a hitchhiker, who heard that Las Vegas is supposed to have like this dance competition. But unfortunately, she doesn't get into the dance competition. She's working as a stripper, and she was trying to work her way up to be in a big, fancy, stereotypical Las Vegas Showgirls pro show. And of course, she meets up with Carl McLaughlin and his wife was Gina Gershon, or his girlfriend, Gina Gershon, who was in the show. And of course, now I think the reason, before I go on, I think the reason why Elizabeth Berkley took this part, because many of you know Elizabeth Berkley was in the television show, or the Saturday morning TV show, Saved by the Bell. And she was on for 4 years. Well, technically 3.5, because in the fourth season, but halfway through the fourth, she did her but half the season. And she decided, hey, I don't want to do any more episodes. I'm getting too old. I'm getting tired of playing this character. And so, not only her, but Tiffany Amber Thiessen also played Kelly on Saved by the Bell. Also did about half the episodes for the fourth and final season. And of course, Showgirls came out like 2 years later. So it was 2 years that she has been kicking him out, saying, "Hey, you were Jessie and Saved by the Bell." So she had a tough time like everybody else in the cast who got typecast for being on because Saved by the Bell was a very popular show. So to see Elizabeth Berkley in a role like this, it's really something to see. Of course, I'm not saying that she doesn't have talent. As I said, you show how bad of an actress she really was, especially on Saved by the Bell, because the character was supposed to be. I know it was supposed to be Showgirls, but the character that she played in Saved by the Bell was supposed to be like a feminist, a liberal feminist, and so of course, if there was an actual person named Jessie Spano, she would be protesting a movie like this. And the irony is that Elizabeth Berkley played this character, who was, of course, is nude most of the time, which is not bad because she does have a body. I mean, I'm not saying that she doesn't have a body, but you do literally see everything. I mean, it's like no shame here, and she really went above and beyond to get rid of the typecasting of of playing Jessie Spano on Saved by the Bell. She did all she could for being a fit because I guess this role was supposed to be her way of getting rid of that character. But meanwhile, this movie was like so bad that they ruined it. And now it's a cult classic now, but at the time it was like got awful bad. Of course, there were moments in the movie where she was not only nude, but she walks. It's like they weren't hiding anything. Especially since with the NC-17 rating, they weren't hiding a thing. You literally see full front. I mean, not just showing her boobs, or showing her in bra and panties during her strip act. You literally see everything. You just see her nether regions. Okay, so you literally see everything in this movie. You see everything on her, not only just her, but other girls who are in the show. You see everything, and of course, times in the movie where a character would say, show us your tits, because her character being Naomi, she goes out for a tryout, and of course the guy from L.A. Law, like I mentioned, Alan Rickman from L.A. Law, he's checking out all the girls who are auditioning, and he says, okay, I pick you, you pick you, I pick you. He picked like about four or five of the girls who were auditioning as main part of the show. He says, okay, now I picked you, now show me your tits. And so naturally they have to take off their bras, and you see the tits of these girls. And you constantly hear the word tits. In the movie, he says, show me your tits. Hey, lady, I know me, show me your tits. Or show me your ass. And also you have constantly use of the F word in this. So it's kind of weird to see Jessica like I said before, to see one of the girls was Saved by the Bell constantly using the F word. And it says, I'm not, and because there was one guy who got jealous of her flirting to get a big tip, and it says she was dancing for one particular customer in the strip club. She gave a guy a private dance, and he says, you got a 500 tip for this guy. What do? You fuck him in the back? I said, no, I wasn't fucking him. I was dancing for him. I said, I don't care. So you call it dancing, call it fucking the guy. You're fucking the guy without fucking him. There was actually one of the lines in the film, and I mean, it really was bad. And there was one particular scene where she actually, where Elizabeth, Normie actually kills one of the lead dancer in the show that she got hired for, and in another in the Stardust Hotel, and so now she got the lead. And of course, by the end of the movie, she gets disgusted about how cutthroat the Showgirls were in Las Vegas, and she ends up leaving in the end of the movie, leaving Las Vegas at the end of the movie, and I mean, it was such a waste, especially the talent that was in the movie. Not just Elizabeth Berkley, but the other actors that I mentioned in this film. It was just a waste for everybody, and it was just horrendous to watch. And not too long after the Showgirls came out, like about a year, 2 years later, Demi Moore starred in a stripper movie. My mind escapes me, but the name escapes me right now. And the movie that Demi Moore was in, but it also got panned and got lousy write-ups, and it was, even the dialogue was worse in the Demi Moore movie than it was in this one. But at least you see two hot women stripping. I mean, compared to Demi Moore and Elizabeth Berkley stripping, I mean, you can't complain. But you actually do see Elizabeth Berkley's boobs. You don't really see Demi Moore's boobs all that much in this film. You barely see it. But you do see Elizabeth Berkley's entire body. There's one particular scene in this film where she's actually having sex with Kyle MacLachlan in the pool, and the way she was like jerking back, I mean, she's literally had her legs wrapped around and her long legs, I mean, because she is very tall, and her legs go on literally forever. her wrapped around collar, and she was like jerking. Anyway, the way she was violently jerking herself back during the sex scene, it was really, really. It was like one of the most graphic sex scenes that I've ever seen in a film. It was that graphic. Uh, but you do see her whole body, flexing back like that, and it was really. And I know I'm going on and on about how graphic it is, but it is a very extremely graphic film, and like I said, it was really was the first success, and really is a success of NC-17 film, and because it got a real big marketing for the video when it came out on DVD. When it come on, there was no DVDs yet. It was like a year or two from DVDs coming out. But when it came out on video, most video stores had the R-rated version, which cut out a lot of the more extreme graphic stuff in the film. But you could get if you order it, or you could buy it, the NC-17 version, so you can see all the graphic stuff. When that was like a couple years ago, it came out on Blu-ray. So now you can really see the NC-17 version on Blu-ray. Now, but of course, this movie was so bad that in the Razzie Awards for in January 1996, when they had the Razzie Awards for the 1995 movies, the Showgirls not only did they receive the most nominations, which I think tied, that record's tied now, but at the time it was received the most Razzie Awards. Now, I mentioned this in the film and videos. The Razzie Awards is like the opposite of the Oscars. The Oscars are for like the quote unquote best movies. The Razzie Awards are for the worst movies. And when Razzies came out for 1995, Showgirls not only received the most nominations, but received the most Razzie Awards of all time, including, of course, not actually Best Picture, but Worst Picture, Worst Actress, Worst Direction. But every single award was nominated for a one, which, of course, I don't think it's ever happened before for the Razzies until the Jackie Jill movie that Adam Sandler did. That broke all the records the Showgirl had in terms of receiving the most Razzie Awards for the worst picture. I mean, the Jack and Jill movie with Adam Sandler broke the Showgirls record. But for a long, long time, about 20 years, or almost 20 years, Showgirls had the record for the most Razzie wins. I think there was a couple of movies that actually tied it, but for a long time it had the record for the first movie to win the most Razzie Awards. And I think it got just about like I mentioned before, every single one that it was nominated for. And it practically ruined Elizabeth Berkley's career for a long, long time. And I think she did some minor roles, here and there. I think she did like one, a Woody Allen movie. She goes from doing Showgirls to a Woody Allen film. I don't know what's worse, doing a Woody Allen movie or Showgirls. Alright? So, because we all know what kind of pervert Woody Allen is. But I'm getting off topic. Showgirls, at first, when I saw it, I figured the only thing that was interesting was seeing Elizabeth Berkley naked. That was the only thing worth watching to see in this movie. I'm not kidding. It's that. I mean, it is that bad. Like I said earlier, this is definitely within the top 3 worst movies of all time. Because number one is like Planet 9 from Outer Space, Showgirls, and maybe Jaws 3D. And in my opinion, it's the top 3 worst movies of all time. If I ever do a list of the top 10 worst movies, in my opinion, this is definitely, like I said, it's in the top 3. Because of how bad it is. I mean, the acting was bad, the dialogue was bad. The only thing that was really good, in my opinion, is the dance sequences. And that's the only good thing. There's only really 2 good things. Seeing Elizabeth Berkley naked, which I just mentioned, and the other thing that was good about this movie is the dance sequences. That's it. That is it. That's it. I mean, that's the only two highlights of this movie. Everything else you can just skip over. You just skip over and just see the nudity, the dance sequences, and that's it. But it's hard to skip over the nudity because there's so much of it in this film. But there's the only two things that's worthwhile about this movie. And I don't want to see any comments on there saying how much of a pervert I am because I like the nude scenes. But that's the only two noteworthy things in this movie. And if you happen to be a Saved by the Bell fan, you can see Elizabeth Berkley naked. Right? I mean, that's the only reason why I watch this movie is to see her naked. And to see how bad this movie was. And believe me, it's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, there's no words to describe how horrible this movie is. It's that bad. So if you want to see what's considered like one of the worst movies of all time, check out Showgirls, and you see it not exaggerating. Well, nowadays, like I said before about how many Razzie Awards it won. Now over the years, it's been over 21 years now since the movie came out, and it's gone like a real big cult following. Now, like over 20, like a generation later, it's got like a cult following because people want to see like what's generally considered to be one of the worst, if not the worst movie of all time. It's probably top Planet 9 from Outer Space is possibly the worst movie of all time. I mean, in terms of how everything was in this film. I mean, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I mean, it was that bad. It really was that bad. And you think, considering the acting talent in this film, because people always focus on Elizabeth Berkley, but how her expression, she really changed her expression. And it's the same thing when she was on Saved by the Bell. She really changes her expressions on her face. And actually, of course, she can't dance. I mean, she has a dancing background. So, it was funny that years later, when she was on Dancing with the Stars, that she got knocked out early on, and it was mad that she was. I mean, how can you knock out somebody who was, famous for being in Showgirls and Saved by the Bell, she did a lot of dancing, and obviously in Showgirls she has to, but I'm saying also in Saved by the Bell she did a lot of dancing. She had great moves because she has a dancing background before she got into acting. She had a dancing background. So when she got knocked off Dancing with the Stars, it was a joke. It was a joke. I know I'm on a tangent here because I don't want to keep repeating myself on how bad Showgirls was. So that's my review of Showgirls. Please click on the video. Please rate it. Feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel. And please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my videos not only on my YouTube channel, but at rallyc.com. That's all WDY.com. There's a homepage to the Rally Reviewer, Demi Moore. Please check out all of his videos, not only his TV trash videos, but also all of his other content as well. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.